The album had the song Cold Shot on it,
Yeah.
too. And Cold Shot was definitely like tongue-in-cheek, cheesy.
Yeah.
But, this, Stevie Ray Vaughan's big fat wife.
Hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. I'm Troy. This is Dave. Today we're talking about the top 3 cheating songs. But before we get started, why don't you leave your picks below, see if they match ours. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, when I think of cheating songs, I immediately think of country songs. I don't really think of rock songs. And when you came up with this topic, I was like, I can't think of any.
There's
rock songs about
There's
cheating.
1,000 songs out there about cheating, just like there is in country.
I got 3. So, let's just get rolling.
All right. Well, my number 3 is going to be Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know.
I know the version of me. Is she perverted like me? Would she go down on you in
This was the lead single off of Alanis Morissette's 1995 album, Jagged Little Pill, which was massive.
It was huge. It was all over the radio all the time and always on MTV.
I don't think I knew a gal back in 1995 who didn't have that CD or tape or album. It was really a siren song for all the jilted girls out there.
And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left.
But, that album, Jagged Little Pill, exploded. It sold 33 million
Wow.
copies worldwide and thus became one of the biggest selling albums of all time.
You forget about me, Mr. Duplicity. I hate to bug you in the middle of dinner.
On that album, she had a killer band. She had Dave Navarro on guitar, Flea was on bass, and Ben Montench played the Hammond organ.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And the drummer was...
Well, when she went on tour, she had Taylor Hawkins
That's
on
right.
drums.
Okay.
Yeah. So he wasn't on the album, but when she toured, that was before he joined, Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
It had those vengeful lyrics. I mean, it's a real powerful song. And you watch the video, oh my God, what's funny is I came up with this today. I was working on this list and waiting for you to come over, and I was watching Austin City Limits, and guess who was on Austin City Limits?
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, she was doing the whole album.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And she was good. She looks exactly the same as she did, almost 30 years ago. It's crazy. There are a few songs by women that can really compete with that topic, the way that Alanis did it.
Yeah.
Think of Pat Benatar, Heartbreaker, some of these songs like that. But, that was really out of nowhere, became one of the biggest selling albums of all time. And got to give it up to Alanis, for sure.
Yeah, you know who that song's about? I can't think of the guy's name.
I think he was there.
What's the show in the 90s that John Stamos was on?
Full House.
Full House. So that song was about Dave Coulier.
Really?
Yeah, they were a couple before she wrote that album, and I guess he broke her heart, and she wrote that song, and I guess it was good for her.
Well, it definitely paid off. So, all right. Well, yeah. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is The Doors, Backdoor Man.
All right.
So it was actually written by Willie Dixon
Yeah, it's an old blues song.
in 1960,
Sure.
and Howlin' Wolf
Covered it.
or he recorded it in 1960. But if you don't know what a backdoor man is, because if you're from another part of the world,
Well, we talked about it when we talked about Backdoor Santa.
yeah, exactly. A backdoor man is
A terrible song, by the way.
Exactly. A backdoor man is a man that sneaks in the back door of a married woman's house and has an affair, and he slips in the back door. That's basically what backdoor man is.
And Porch Light. There's been a lot of songs about Porch Light. But yeah, when the Doors did it, it was definitely, it was a blues song.
They made it a little more hard rock and a little more psychedelic
Yeah,
than
sure.
the original blues version. The Doors, Backdoor Man. It's a great song. It was on their debut album that came out in 1967. It's the first track on the second side. To tell you the truth, I don't even know how I know this song. Because it's not like they played on the radio.
They played it back in the day.
I guess they did, yeah.
I heard it on the radio back in the day. Well, number 2 is Marvin Gaye. I heard it through the grapevine.
I bet you're wondering how I knew. I'm chosen hands to make me blue.
Fire's
You
getting
know-
hot. Fire's getting hot now. My knees are burning.
Loving the Fire.
Oh, it feels good.
The song was originally recorded by Gladys Knight and the Pips in 1967, and it shot up the charts. I think it went to like number 2.
You know that I heard it through the grapevine. Much longer would you be mine?
Now, Marvin Gaye's version, I think, is the best version. And it came out the following year, and it surpassed Gladys Knight and the Pips' version. And at the time, it became the biggest selling song from Motown.
Oh, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, well.
The band for that song were the Funk Brothers. Do you know who the Funk Brothers are?
Yeah.
They were a studio band pretty much for Motown. They're out of Detroit. And they were, contemporaries with like the Wrecking Crew. And you had, in LA, and you had, Muscle Shoals Studios in Alabama, and, even Sun Records, they had a lot of their own little in-house bands. Marvin Gaye's version is, to me, the definitive version, although it's been covered by The Miracles and Smokey Robinson, and it was also, of course, CCR did it.
Yeah. I love that version.
Oh, yeah. CCR version is great.
Ooh, bet you wonder how I knew about your plan to make me blue.
Well, it's a classic song about, finding out your lover is two-timing you and
Through the grapevine.
through the grapevine.
Heard it through the grapevine. Be my baby.
But, the song was really reborn in 1986 when the California Raisins
Oh, yeah.
did this claim. It was a brilliant ad campaign. They did a claymation video using Heard Through the Grapevine, and
The little Raisins would they had a band.
Yeah. But when that was recorded, it was sung by Buddy Miles. Buddy Miles famously was the drummer for Jimi Hendrix. But that was one of the greatest ads in my book of all time.
Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine?
But it's a very memorable and one of the most classic cheating songs of all time.
It's a good one.
All right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is A Quick Death in Texas by Clutch.
We saw Clutch.
Yeah. On my birthday, 4 or 5 years ago.
I hadn't really heard of the band. I actually had heard of them, but I didn't know any of their songs.
Well, they were big in the 90s. They put out an album in the mid 90s, and they had some songs on MTV back in the day.
Yes, I'm a new world samurai in a redneck nonetheless. Yes, I'm a new world samurai.
But they have sort of this underground following, because what's great about Clutch is they have so many albums, and every time but they've never had really big hits.
Yeah, I couldn't recall.
So when you go see Clutch live, their set list is it's different every show. They pick songs from their first albums and some of their later albums. And if you go see them one night, they're going to play 15 songs. You go see them the next night, they're going to play 15 different songs, because they have so many fans from different generations.
We saw them at Stubbs in Austin, and it was packed.
Yeah.
And they were good. I
love
enjoyed
Clutch.
it.
They're one of my favorite, I guess more recent in the last 20-year bands, The song is about a Yankee who comes to Texas, messes around with this woman, doesn't know that she's married, and then finds out her husband works at Tractor Supply, and he's well acquainted with the guns and knives. That's the lyric. That's one of the lyrics.
He was the GM of Tractor Supply, well acquainted with the guns and knives.
Before the second verse starts, it's sort of implied that her husband, either stabbed him or shot him or something. So the chorus is, now I'm praying for a quick death in Texas.
Divine protection, but now I'm praying for a quick death in Texas.
The lyrics are smart, funny. The song just has a great groove to it. There's not a lead solo part in it, but it's more of this kind of funk drum part, and with a cowbell, and then the guitar comes in. It goes down, down, down. It's such a jamming song. It's a fun song.
So the Yankee got whacked.
He's praying that he got whacked because he's in such pain.
Oh, okay.
From the guy,
So
guy who worked at Tractor Supply. He really, I don't know if it never really says in the song if he got stabbed or shot or beat up or whatever. But the main chorus is, "Now I'm praying for a quick death in Texas."
So it's written from the Yankees' point of view.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
And the Yankee is the singer.
In his right hand he had a Bible, and in his left the business end of a Winchester rifle.
There's a really cool line in the song after the first chorus where he goes, "Please forgive me, Mr. Gibbons."
Please forgive me, Mr. Gibbons.
Like Billy Gibbons.
Really?
Yeah. Because even though they're a band from more up north, I'm not sure where they're from. They're influenced by Southern rock and ZZ
They definitely
Top.
had a kind of a Southern rock.
A heavier Southern rock feel. Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
They were actually nominated for a Grammy the year that album came out for that song. Yeah.
Under best hard rock category or something like that.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. What's your number 1? And I'm wondering, could it be one of those situations again where we pick the same song for number 1? Let's see.
Jimi Hendrix, Hey Joe.
Oh, nope.
Hey Joe, where you going with that gun of yours?
But I thought about that song because we've talked about it before.
We did. We talked about it on our politically incorrect songs.
That's right, yeah.
I'm going out to shoot my old lady. I'm gonna mess around with another man.
Well, if you want to talk about a song with cheating in it with a dark outcome, it's hard to top Hey Joe.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, I heard you shot your lady down, you shot her down.
Hey Joe was released on Jimmy's debut album, Are You Experienced, in 1967, and it became one of his best known songs.
Hey Joe, where you gonna run to now?
Jimmy didn't actually write that song. It goes back, it's been contested as to who wrote it, but it goes back to even the 50s where there's somebody claiming, or there's been similar version. I think the Byrds even did a song called Hey Joe.
Really?
Prior to that.
Was it a blues song that was sort of
I hadn't heard the other versions, but definitely Jimmy's version was.
Yeah.
For sure.
A lot of those blues songs back in the day were just a band would sort of like steal the idea and then make it their own.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, so many bands, you know, milked the old blues catalog for songs and changed them up, and, you know, Jeff Beck, Zeppelin, all these bands are famous for doing that.
Yeah.
But Jimmy, when he recorded that song, he definitely made it his own.
Ain't no handle gonna. You put a rope around it.
It's about this character, Joe, who finds out his old lady's messing around. He's going to, you know, hunt her down and kill her.
I'm going down to shoot my old lady. You know, I caught her messing around with another man.
And Jimmy's like, "Hey Joe, where are you going with that gun in your hand?"
Well, I'm going down to shoot my old lady. Caught her messing around with another man.
The end.
But, you know, he does. And after he does the deed, he's got to head, you know, way on down to Mexico to escape
Yeah.
retribution or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not a happy ending song. But it's a classic Jimi Hendrix song. And, you know, it was, I think Rolling Stone put it as, you know, number 200 or 201 is one of the greatest songs of all time. And it is one of the greatest songs of all time. And it's one of Jimi Hendrix's greatest songs. And it was actually the last song that Jimmy played at Woodstock. And Jimmy was the last performer at Woodstock. So that was the last song that was played at Woodstock.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, anyways, Hey Joe, what's your number one?
That's a good one. Love it. Well, my number one is a song that I'm surprised you didn't pick, but it's Led Zeppelin, Your Time Is Gonna Come.
Lying, cheating, hurting, that's all you seem to do.
I had it on my list. It was number 3. And then I was, because it's really not one of my favorite songs, a Zeppelin one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other ones that I like better.
But it's a cheating song.
Oh, it's a total cheating song. But then I thought about, I was looking at a list and I was like, you know, I saw Alanis Morissette and I was like, oh my God, that is totally, you know, vitriolic song. And I went with Alanis over that. But that was, sat for a few days on my list as number 3.
Yeah, I agree. It's not one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs either. I actually like the Jimmy Page Black Crowes version of that song better than the Led Zeppelin version.
I probably do too, because I have that album.
Dancing around with every guy in town, putting me down, thinking on someone new.
But of course, when I researched the Led Zeppelin version of this song, I go on Wikipedia, and it's the only song listed that you can't click on. You know how you can usually click
Sure.
on the song to find out information?
Yeah.
There's no information about this song. I couldn't find hardly any information about the song.
Well, because it's not one of the best songs. On
Exactly.
Zeppelin one.
I think the, like I said, the Black Crowes Jimmy Page version that they recorded in, I think, 2000, or they recorded in 99. They put the album out in 2000.
Yeah.
It was live at the Greek, I think it was. They actually did a version on Conan O'Brien that's incredible, man.
One of these days, and it won't be long, you'll look for me the day that I'll be gone. So I got to say to you,
I did read something, and I don't know if this is true or not, that Chris Robinson, the singer for the Black Crowes, didn't have fun on that, recording that album, or recording that, you know, live album.
He's probably fighting with his brother.
Probably so. But he said, he goes, yeah, I never really liked Robert Plant's voice too much, and I never really liked the lyrics too much. I don't know if that's true or not.
No, that's, you know, Chris sang his ass off on that album. And
Yeah.
I would have to say he held his own against anything, you know, Robert Plant was probably doing.
You've been bad to me, woman, but it's all coming back to you. Your time is gonna come.
Of course, there's only one Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
But I was glad when Jimmy went ahead and joined up with them because
I would love for them to get back together and do some more stuff because, I think it would.
Robert Plant's going on tour with Alison Krauss
Really? Again?
again.
Yeah. Those albums that he did with her are incredible. Love them.
All right, so
Let's see.
anything else you want to say about
Let me see.
Your
Let me see.
time is gonna come? It's definitely cheating, hurting.
Yeah.
It's all.
And I picked it as my number one because it is Led Zeppelin, and I love Led Zeppelin. But, I'll say it again: the Black Crowes Jimmy Page
Well.
version is just incredible.
It's a great cheating song.
It is a great cheating song. So hey, that's our top 3 cheating rock songs, or rock songs about cheating. Leave your picks below. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. And we'll see you next time in the shed.
See you guys.